I would not start Gemini-CLI by asking whether it has an impressive demo. I would start with the first side effect. What can it read, what can it write, what account or runtime does it touch, and what proof does it leave behind when the run is over? That is the practical Doramagic reading of this project. The manual gives a better spine than a launch post because it forces a slower question: where does Gemini-CLI actually enter a workflow? In this case, the first useful note is, it is designed for coding workflows, codebase exploration, automation, and integration with external systems through a flexible tool and extension model. The second note is the boundary. It is designed for coding workflows, codebase exploration, automation, and integration with external systems through a flexible tool and extension model. I would keep that sentence visible during setup, because most first-run mistakes happen when you treat a tool surface, an SDK, an extension, or an agent loop as if they all had the same risk profile. My first-run test would be intentionally boring. I would create one disposable workspace, one reversible task, and one output I can inspect without trusting the agent or the UI. If the setup requires credentials, browser state, local files, or a running service, I would use test data first and keep the production account out of the first pass. The manual also points to the failure mode I would watch first. A separate packages/SDK publishes a small public surface for embedding the agent programmatically, including a typed tool, helper documented in packages/SDK/src/tool.ts. A clean demo can hide this. The project can appear to work while the real contract is still unclear: which command was run, which file changed, which remote call happened, or which source produced the answer. For verification, I would not accept a success message by itself. Built on top of the core is the packages/CLI package, which provides the interactive command line interface, and a packages/A2A server package that exposes the agent over an HTTP/A2A transport. See packages/A2A server/src/http/appts. In a technical creator workflow, the proof is the command, the trace, the changed file, the generated artifact, or the exact response shape. Anything less is just a story about a run. Here is the concrete first-run checklist I would use for Gemini-CLI. Step 1. Open the Doramagic manual and the upstream repository side by side. Step 2. Identify the smallest entry point, not the most impressive one. Step 3. Run one task where failure is cheap. Step 4. Save the log or output. Step 5. Decide whether the next run deserves more permissions. I would also cross-check the repository directly at https://github.com/google-gemini/gemini-cli. The manual is the map, but the repository is where version drift, installation details, and real issue patterns show up. If those disagree, I trust the live upstream evidence before I trust a polished summary. My verdict is narrow. Gemini-CLI is worth exploring only after it passes one small, inspectable workflow. Do not turn it into infrastructure because the category sounds useful. Start with one scenario, keep the boundary tight, keep the evidence visible, and only expand after the first run is genuinely repeatable. For this video, the important thing is not the name Gemini-CLI. The important thing is the habit: manual first, source second, tiny run third, evidence before trust. That is how I would keep Gemini-CLI from becoming another tool that looked promising for an hour and then created a maintenance problem for the next month. Scene notes: read the project by its first side effect. It is designed for coding workflows, codebase exploration, automation, and integration with external systems through a flexible tool and extension. Decide what it can touch. It is designed for coding workflows, codebase exploration, automation, and integration with external systems through a flexible tool and extension. Use the manual as the spine. It is designed for coding workflows, codebase exploration, automation, and integration with external systems through a flexible tool and extension. Make the first run deliberately small. This page provides a high-level orientation for new users and contributors, covering purpose, installation paths, authentication, and the major Watch the failure that looks like success. A separate packages/SDK publishes a small public surface for embedding the agent programmatically, including a typed tool, helper documented in. Keep proof on screen. Built on top of the core is the packages/CLI package, which provides the interactive command line interface, and a packages/A2A server package. Crosscheck upstream. I would keep the repository open while testing. https://github.com/google-gemini/gemini-cli. Only expand after one useful pass. For Gemini CLI, the decision is not whether the demo looks good. It is whether one narrow workflow produces inspectable, repeatable evidence.